Hey, what is up people? This is BroCrow coming in with my first video, and what better way to start off than a classic top 10s list. And on that note, let us begin with the top 10 supervillains from both DC and Marvel. Do note that this is based mainly on my opinion, with certain inputs from the general public. And if you think differently, well, good for you. Ironically, on the 10th place we have the strongest villain in the list, and perhaps the strongest villain ever created in both Marvel and DC. Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds. Practically invincible, this godlike being comes from before the beginning and the Big Bang itself. Manifested and reborn within the universal explosion, he practically became a vessel of raw energy. And for billions of years, he remained undefeated.
No amount of training can prepare you for Galactus.
With the Silver Surfer at his side and Ta-2, a planetary spaceship at his command, he truly embodied both eternity and death within him in his immortal state. Only to be defeated by the Silver Surfer and a weapon from his ship, aka the Ultimate Nullifier, that was stolen by the Fantastic Four and was not even mentioned in the film adaptation of the comic. He is number 10 due to his overwhelming power, but as we progress throughout the list, it's worth noticing that power is not the main variable villains are worth being judged by. Next up, we have a red baldy by the name of Johann Schmidt. According to Marvel, after encountering Hitler in the Nazi years of Germany and winning his favor, he slowly rose in ranks to become the second most powerful man in the Third Reich.
If they cut off one head, two more shall take its place. Hail Hydra.
And although according to the original comics he was never in charge of the group known as Hydra, his Stormtrooper wannabes from the first Avenger movie are still quite cool. He is number 9 due to his skillful tenacity and successful strategies in terms of both politics and military. Plus, he's a perfect caricature and symbol of the Nazi regime made and developed during the start of World War II in the 1940s. So, on 8th place, we must notice that we went from a god to a human, and now we're stopping at a symbiote. But unlike both previous contestants, this creature is far from having a proper healthy mentality. It is more like a virus that infects and takes over other hosts. Venom's first proper vessel after scaring the shit out of Spider-Man became Eddie Brock, who gladly accepted this freak of nature to settle his dispute with Spider-Man. Unfortunately for Venom, Spidey figured out the beast's weakness, which was sonic waves, and was so defeated in the movie Spider-Man 3. And basically, it all happened with a bunch of metal bars, with which Spider-Man separated the host and the beast. Disappointed, Eddie Brock failed to seek vengeance on Spider-Man, and once separated from his dearly beloved, this is what she looked like. But the symbiote never actually sought a stable, long relationship. Thus, after surviving this defeat, they switched hosts again. This time it turned out to be Mac Gargan, otherwise known as Scorpion. And that ain't the end either, folks. This thing keeps on switching boyfriends and sometimes even girlfriends, every now and then, kind of like a slut. But all jokes aside, this beast is unique in many ways. He's the first symbiote that was introduced to us from the Amazing Spider-Man comic, and along with its sexually spawned children, it's not simply an alien that is based off of humans and their thought patterns. It is truly something different, much like the extraterrestrials from the movie Alien. This unique property allowed him to acquire 8th place on this list, hence that's also the reason why the more powerful symbiote, Carnage, is not on the list. And one more thing worth mentioning about him is that he has a seriously cool design. I'd say much better than the way more powerful Galactus that wears a giant purple suit and some kind of extraterrestrial form of Abe Lincoln's top hat with antlers sticking out of it. But yeah, that's just my opinion. And now, since we mentioned gods once more, let's go back to them. Although unlike the previous three, this one's from a different universe as well, the DC-verse. Now, I'm not really going to go into Darkseid's past with the whole Darth Vader kind of role to his son that he killed. I just sum this character up by saying that he is one of the greatest threats to the Justice League and Superman himself. Extremely powerful, thus earning him the title of God, or New God, whatever you want to call it. His Omega effect allows him to have vast telepathetic and telekinetic abilities, plus Omega beams, and to top it all off, great intellect and strategic prowess. All that combined is Darkseid, a villain that can even single-handedly defeat Superman if the occasion calls for it, and if the comic writer won't just let the good guy win and actually analyze the power difference between the two. He's in 7th place due to his power, his importance as an antagonist to the Justice League, and his nicely developed past, plus his overwhelming threat to the verse that he is in. On 6th place, we have the Latvian orphan Victor Von Doom, and once again his past is also quite messed up, with the whole exchange of his mother's soul to the devil, well technically a demon but still, then the heroic death of his dad by freezing, and his rivalry with Mr. Fantastic, aka Reed Richards. Let's just skip all that, and go straight to the powers. His powers vary throughout this entire story. Started out with magic that he learned in some secret order of monks in Tibet, then he was taught more cool tricks by Doctor Strange, some aliens, etc. What truly gives him authority over other villains and countless heroes, though, is his titanium armor, electric shocks, jetpacks, solar energy absorptions, and so on. He is 6th place because this villain has been a villain to almost all heroes in the Marvel Universe, and even a villain to villains. At a point in time, he even defeated Galactus, with additional powers and prep time of course, but seriously, this guy is quite the beast, and purely in all senses, he is the bad guy. So yeah guys, this was the first part of the top 10 supervillains video. Hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a like or subscribe. This is my first video and it actually took quite a long time to make, so I'll probably switch it up a bit, make it a bit more simple in the future. I'm also looking for a composer to help out with the tunes. And yeah, with your support, I'm hoping to make more videos, guys. If you have any comments, critiques, or questions, just post them below and I'll most likely respond to them because I'm probably not going to have a lot of comments either way. And yeah, that's about it. Well, see you next time.